Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into the pages of The Pomodoro Technique, a time management book that offers a revolutionary, yet wonderfully simple approach to increasing productivity. Authored by Francesco Cirillo, a man who once wrestled with organizing his workflow, the book introduces readers to the principles of the Pomodoro Technique, an innovative method he developed back in the 1980s while seeking to improve his own study habits. Imagine breaking down your overwhelming tasks into bite-sized, focused work sessions, punctuated by short breaks to recharge, leading to enhanced work quality and personal satisfaction. This book promises a transformation in how you tackle your to-do lists, whether you're wrestling with deadline pressures or perpetually pushing tasks to tomorrow. The Pomodoro Technique is particularly tailored for those who crave a straightforward, practical tool to level up their time management skills, for anyone who finds themselves stuck in the quicksand of procrastination, and for individuals on a quest to redefine productivity without overburdening their day. Cirillo's expertise, cultivated over years of refining his technique and coaching others, ensures that this book is not just a guide but a companion for anyone looking to make their work life more rewarding and their time more manageable. Join us as we explore how blocking time can unblock your potential. The Pomodoro Technique, the effective method of structuring your workday into small, manageable chunks. Introduction. Unleash your productivity with a simple tomato timer. Procrastination has evolved into the modern worker's arch nemesis, an all too familiar scenario where the lure of social media or the sudden need to deep clean the kitchen takes precedence over pressing work tasks. We've all found ourselves trapped in the clutches of time-wasting activities, fully aware of their hollow satisfaction and the mounting guilt that accompanies the relentless pushback of responsibilities. Picture this. Another day wanes, the computer screen glows, and a daunting project looms. You're acutely aware those blank slides are mocking you, needing to be filled with brilliance for tomorrow's big presentation. Yet, there you are, your cursor blinking idly as you fall down the rabbit hole of endless scrolling through social media. In those desperate moments, a knight in shining armor appears, albeit in a less than conventional form. Enter the humble kitchen timer, shaped like a tomato, that came to the rescue of Francesco Cirillo. As a university student, grappling with the universal plight of postponement, Cirillo stumbled upon a deceptively straightforward solution that would lead to triumph over the seduction of procrastination. Transforming tasks into a series of pomodori, Italian for tomatoes, Cirillo capitalized on the power of this timer to break work into palatable, motivating intervals. By taking the massive and overwhelming and slicing it into bite-sized pieces, Cirillo crafted the Pomodoro Technique. Goodbye guilt, hello productivity. So, if your email inbox has seen more action today than a revolving door, it might be time to consider what a simple tomato timer could do for you. Welcome to a world where getting things done could be as delightful as enjoying a ripe, juicy pomodoro, all without the associated mental stress. Part 1. Transform your work into bite-sized victory chunks. Time, the relentless tide, seems to crawl when we're inching through tasks, and yet it races ahead the moment we divert to mindless web surfing. These are the familiar signs of a workday spiraling out of control. The coffee breaks linger, conversations stretch, and before we know it, we're clocking out with a to-do list as untouched as a fresh snowfall. This cycle of inefficiency can leave us feeling like we're shouldering a heavy burden, dragging our workplace guilt home like an unwanted briefcase full of bricks. Under the ghostly glow of our screens, the night shift begins, punctuated by the all-too-familiar digital distractions, the siren call of the internet, social media beckoning. When morning dawns, fatigue drapes over us and the cycle, distressingly predictable, gears up to repeat itself. If this rings painfully true, you're not alone. But imagine, if you could carve your workday into tangible victories, each within grasp. How? By adopting the principle that work could and should be divided into small, undaunted spans of time, each lasting from 20 to 45 minutes. The aim, to work with unwavering focus in these carved out intervals with no allowance for interruptions. This is the heartbeat of the Pomodoro technique, the art of delineating work into pomodori, the Italian word for tomatoes, a nod to the method's quirky tomato timer origins. Here's the plan. Commence with setting a timer for a brisk, no-nonsense interval of 25 minutes, and during this Pomodoro, you shall do nothing but the task at hand. It's a pledge to monomaniacal focus, a block of time to vanquish just one dragon from your to-do list. As the timer draws to a close and the gentle ring marks the end of the Pomodoro, step back and indulge in a well-earned 5-minute breather. Sip some water, practice a stretching routine, just drift, recharge for the combat ahead. Soon enough, you will find yourself geared up, both mentally and physically, for another segment of singular dedication. Thus, you'll forge on, armed with tomato chunk conviction, one Pomodoro at a time. Part 2. Minimize stress and maximize achievement with Pomodori. With an allure of simplicity and the promise of productivity, the Pomodoro technique stands as a beacon for all who find themselves shipwrecked on the shores of procrastination. It's an approach without the need for complex systems or tools, just a straightforward timer and a willingness to embrace focused bursts of work. Welcome to the world of Pomodori, where tasks are no longer monolithic giants looming over you, but rather a series of manageable steps, each inviting you forward. The beauty of the Pomodoro technique lies in its ability to strip down work to its bare essentials, intense, focused efforts followed by brief, restorative pauses. In the span of a single Pomodoro, merely 25 minutes, you're tasked to drill into your work with laser precision. The catch? Once that timer ticks to a stop, so do you, granting permission to catch your breath and guard against burnout. It's a dance of discipline and release, choreographed to keep you engaged and stress-free. By breaking down your workload into these digestible segments, your mind is freed from the shackles of the big picture dread. Each Pomodoro is a microcosm of progress, a solitary step upward on your personal Everest, rendering the summit less intimidating with each passing interval. Envision having a daily goal, say 10 Pomodori. This isn't just about tallying time. It's about charting progress in concrete terms, a much-needed antidote to the vagueness that fuels the cycle of delay. Through this method, your spirit remains buoyant. After all, what is 25 minutes in the grand scheme of things? Moreover, the consistent rhythm of work and rest ensures you remain energized, safeguarding your most precious resources, time, energy, and sanity. Embracing the Pomodoro technique transforms the end of your workday into a moment of triumph. Instead of carrying the burdens of unfinished tasks home, you lock them away, snug within the completed Pomodori of the day. And so, you return to the sanctuary of your private life, free to unwind, connect with loved ones, or indulge in the joys of me time, all without the hanging dread of unfinished business. Part 3. A Pomodoro is indivisible, the rule of unbroken focus. The Pomodoro technique, at its core, is simplicity married to commitment, but it delivers results only through unwavering adherence to its foundational principle. A Pomodoro must always be an indivisible unit of time, exactly 25 minutes, no longer, no shorter. When you embark on a Pomodoro, consider it a sacred pact with your task. You're pledging 25 uninterrupted minutes to advancing your work, be it crafting slides for a presentation or dissecting complex data. Every second within this time box counts, and there can be no yielding to the merest of distractions. No snack grabs, no quick glance at the phone, no fleeting email checks. The only permissible reason to break a Pomodoro? An absolute, unequivocal emergency. Think along the lines of a situation where safety is compromised. Otherwise, consider your Pomodoro as unbreakable as the laws of physics. Should a moment of human frailty tempt you to indulge in a mid-Pomodoro distraction, reset your timer without hesitation. An incomplete Pomodoro simply does not make the cut, and thus cannot be tallied toward your day's achievements. Why such severity, you might wonder? It's about building discipline into your very reflexes, making the process as natural to you as breathing. Strictness is your ally here, reinforcing the habit until the timer's rhythm syncs with your internal work clock. What if you happen to wrap up your task before the timer sings? Resist the pull to cut the session short. Delve deeper. There's almost always room for refinement. Is the alignment of your presentation flawless? Have you chosen the best wording? Perfecting your work, or reviewing what you've accomplished, will solidify your understanding and enhance the quality of your output. So, when those final minutes linger after a task is completed, use them. Review, reflect, reevaluate. Whatever you do, let the Pomodoro run its course. Because in this realm, the half Pomodoro is a myth, and completing the cycle in full is non-negotiable. Embrace these rules, and each ringing of the timer will not just signal the end of a Pomodoro, but the mark of another step forward on your journey to productivity mastery. Part 4. Embrace the power of the pause. Breaks are a Pomodoro's best friend. Amid the triumph of conquering a Pomodoro, as you hit save on your last chunk of effort and strike through another task on your master list, it's crucial to honor the next golden rule of the technique. To every Pomodoro, there must be a break. And these breaks are not merely suggestions, they are essential. This isn't a mere whim. It's about safeguarding your ability to sustain concentration. Breaks are designed to offer your brain respite, to cleanse your mental palate before you dive into the next segment of intense focus. So, resist the urge to cram in more work or slip into the all-too-easy inbox excavation. Instead, bask in the afterglow of accomplishment. Let go of the task at hand and immerse yourself in genuine relaxation. The essence of these intervals isn't mere idleness, it's about active recovery, allowing your mind to decamp and decompress, preparing for the next battle. Skimping on breaks can erode the fine balance you've achieved, blurring the line between peak productivity and unstructured toil, thus making it tough to maintain motivation and focus. Adhering to this cycle of work and rest, 25 minutes of laser-focused attention, followed by a 5-minute break, establishes a rhythm your mind can rely on. Break this rhythm and the charm fades. The mind wanders. The division between effort and ease becomes murky, and procrastination may find its way back. To bolster this effect, after plowing through 4 back-to-back Pomodori, spoil yourself with a more substantial break that spans 15 to 30 minutes. It's a well-earned intermission that can dramatically enhance your effectiveness for the rest of the day and serve as a beacon of motivation to reach those checkpoints. The potency of the Pomodoro technique is intertwined with the simplicity of its approach, and as we will see, the tools required to bring this technique to life are just as accessible and uncomplicated as the rules themselves. Prepare to discover how straightforward it is to integrate this powerful method into your daily routine and experience the profound impact of structured time on your productivity and peace of mind. Part 5. Kickstart your productivity with just a timer and 2 lists. The beauty of the Pomodoro technique is that it doesn't require any high-tech apparatus or elaborate setup. The tools are refreshingly humble, yet strikingly effective. First and foremost, secure yourself a timer. True, it won't be the charming tomato-shaped beacon that gave the technique its name, but any timekeeping device will suffice. Your smartphone, a digital watch, or an old-school stopwatch are all suitable candidates. However, if you can find a timer that ticks as time dwindles and chimes when the Pomodoro is up, that's the sweet spot. These auditory cues are like a dance, guiding your brain between the focus of work and the freedom of breaks. With your timer at the ready, you'll need but two more things: a to-do today list and an inventory. The to-do today is a carefully curated selection of tasks that you're determined to conquer within the current sunrise to sunset cycle. It could resemble something like this: structure the upcoming presentation, 4 Pomodori, pinpoint a venue for the seminar, 2 Pomodori, tackle bill payments, 1 Pomodoro, and so on. These tasks emerge from your robust inventory, a reservoir where you've tossed in every task that demands your attention, whether impending or distant on the horizon. Initially, gauging the Pomodori required for each task might seem akin to fortune-telling, but with the passage of time and the accumulation of experience, you'll develop a near sixth sense for how many blocks of 25 minutes you'll need to diligently outline that presentation or deftly declutter your email. Maintaining momentum throughout your day hinges on the diversification of your tasks. For instance, a monolithic undertaking like a seminar on time management techniques, gobbling up a forecasted 20 Pomodori, can be daunting. Slice that behemoth into svelte segments, and the magic happens. Accomplishing outline presentation structure within the first few hours is infinitely more gratifying, binding your motivation to the satisfaction of completion. By interspersing varied tasks throughout your day, the sense of progression is tangible, your drive remains stoked, and each Pomodoro ushers you closer to the zenith of productivity. Part 6. Navigating the disruptive seas of interruptions. Mastering the Pomodoro technique grants you a newfound alliance with time, once a formidable foe, now an ally in your quest for efficiency. But beware. There are stealthy adversaries that can undermine this alliance, poised to strike at the heart of your productivity: the ever-present interruptions. Consider how a typical workday often unravels like a string of uninvited disruptions. Phone calls, the ping of incoming emails, the lure of last night's game score, and yes, even the siren song of your stomach calling for pizza. Each is a bandit, raiding your fortress of focus. In the world of Pomodori, interruptions are the arch-enemies of accomplishment. To better arm yourself, it's important to recognize the two main categories of interruptions: those that bubble up from within and those that besiege you from the outside world. Internal interruptions are the spontaneous thoughts or impulses that hijack your brain's steering wheel. It could be the flash of brilliance for a later project, that compelling urge to scroll through cat memes, or the sudden realization you forgot a birthday gift for your partner. External interruptions are like diversions dispatched by the universe to test your resolve. A colleague's sudden urge to chatter about the chill in the air, the endless onslaught of promotional emails cluttering your inbox, or the arrival of the long-anticipated pepperoni masterpiece you absent-mindedly craved mid-Pomodoro. These disruptions are more than just pesky obstacles. They represent a real threat to your ability to work effectively and could lead down the slippery slope twined with guilt and frustration, notorious side effects of unproductivity. But what if you could steer clear of these choppy waters, keeping your sail pointed towards the tranquil bay of completed Pomodori? There is indeed a way to toss these interruptions overboard and maintain a steady course. Let's prepare to chart the course for a disruption-free journey to productivity. Part 7. Mastering Interruptions. Keep your focus unwavering. Interruptions need not spell disaster for your Pomodori. With a few clever strategies, you can safeguard your focus and your productivity from the onslaught of distractions that threaten to drag you off course. Imagine your concentration as an impenetrable fortress. When internal interruptions attempt to breach its walls, they must be met with swift action. Should an irresistible thought or sudden craving attempt to commandeer your attention, the simple act of noting it down on a piece of paper is akin to capturing the intruder and locking it away until the Pomodoro siege is over. This act of recording isn't only a deflection. It's a promise to your distracted self that the thought will be revisited when the time is right. More often than not, you'll find that these distractions, once held captive until the end of your Pomodoro, lose their urgency, dissolving into insignificance. But if upon review, the thought still holds merit. It earns a place on your inventory or to-do today list, moving from distraction to scheduled task. When external interruptions come knocking, imagine yourself at the helm of your own ship, navigating through treacherous waters. Your resolve must be unwavering. Let incoming calls be greeted by the silence of your voicemail. Put a pause on the parade of email alerts, and if someone should drop by for an impromptu visit, grant them the briefest acknowledgement before steering back to true north. Your work. True emergencies, the kind that involve first aid kits or immediate action, are the only exceptions to the rule. Otherwise, whether it's a borrowed pen or casual chatter, these distractions can wait for your timer to release its chime. Responding firmly to an interruption with, "I'm in the middle of something important. Can I reach out to you in 10 minutes?" sets clear boundaries. You'll often find that respect begets respect. People will honor your dedication to concentration. So, yes, even if the pizza delivery arrives at the height of your Pomodoro, whether summoned by hunger or habit, it'll have to bide its time until your focused interval concludes. After all, the path to peak productivity is one best not dotted with pizza boxes. Final summary. The crux of the Pomodoro technique is rooted in the beauty of simplicity and the power of structure. By dividing your workload into 25-minute slices, known as Pomodori, and dedicating these intervals to undistracted work, you create a rhythm of productivity that revolutionizes your approach to tasks. Following each Pomodoro, you engage in a mandatory pause, a crucial respite that refuels you for the next round of focused effort. This rhythm turns daunting tasks into a series of manageable victories, aids in warding off fatigue, and ultimately transforms the way you work and achieve your goals. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.